This morning with breaking news. Police have made a terrible discovery in Sydney's eastern suburbs this morning. Anti-Semitic graffiti sprayed across multiple properties, acting as the backdrop to a car fire.
Yeah, today's Sydney reporter Jack Hahn is on the scene in Woollahra. Jack, this is a really disturbing sight.
Yeah, good morning to you, David and Sylvia. And as we come on the air at 5:30, you can see from behind me that a tow truck has just arrived on the scene to collect the car in question. It is a burnt-out red Toyota Corolla. Emergency services scrambling here to Magnay Street in the suburb of Woollahra, right behind Bondi Junction, finding this vehicle well alight. And police officers also found anti-Israel slogans sprayed on 7 properties. Eagle-eyed viewers will spot that Israel was spelt incorrectly by the offender, and it's believed that they may have also torched the vehicle in question. By the time that emergency services arrived here and police, the offenders were long gone. There has been no sight of them this morning. Police have not made any arrests. So forensics and detectives have been here for many hours now. They've been collecting evidence, dusting for fingerprints, and also seizing a number of items of interest, including a fuel canister, trying to pick up on any clues that they can relay over radio to other officers near Sydney to try and bring these whoever is responsible for this attack into custody. You guys will remember that a few weeks ago on the 21st of November, 10 vehicles were firebombed in the same suburb with similar anti-Israel slogans sprayed onto the vehicles. The alleged offender, I should point out, in that case, has been put before the court. It's also worth mentioning that here in Sydney's eastern suburbs, it is home to many in the Jewish community here in Sydney. So we will see how the reaction will flow throughout the morning. Team.
We will indeed. Thanks for that, Jack.
Also breaking, a gunman is on the run after a shooting in Melbourne's north. Live to Isabella Stashkovsky in Reservoir. Police remain on the scene.
Yeah, they certainly do. Jane, good morning to you. There are so many police around here in Reservoir, and they've actually cordoned off many streets in this area. We're here on Croft Crescent, and as you can see, plenty of police tape behind me. It was just before 11 last night that a man was found with a gunshot wound. He's a 54-year-old man. He's been taken to hospital in quite a serious condition. There's little known around that, and police are certainly this morning investigating the circumstances. I've seen plenty of detectives trying to exactly piece together what has happened, but certainly some bizarre scenes for residents this morning waking up in Reservoir. Jane?
Thank you, Isa. Police are on the hunt for 2 thieves after they ram-raided a toy store in Melbourne's north just weeks out from Christmas. The pair reversing straight through a window yesterday morning, knocking over shelves like dominoes before grabbing thousands of dollars worth of toys, including remote-controlled cars. Their 90-second raid left behind a massive damage bill and loss of trade as staff clean up the mess.
Pretty low act, what they've done, especially around the Christmas time on a family-run business.
We've got one whole aisle that's been trashed because some thugs just decided they wanted to break in. I'm gutted. Sorry.
It's hoped the doors can reopen in coming days. Another 2 lives have been lost in crashes within hours, bringing WA's soaring road death toll to 174 this year. A 67-year-old woman was hit by a Toyota Yaris near Kings Park in the city around 7 a.m. yesterday. Meanwhile, a 24-year-old woman died after a truck crash yesterday in WA too. Cyclist Rowan Dennis has pleaded guilty to a downgraded charge of reckless driving and won't be found responsible for the death of his fellow Olympian wife Melissa Hoskins after she was hit by a ute outside their Adelaide home. The 34-year-old could still be jailed for up to 7 years despite the negotiated plea halving his maximum penalty. The Prime Minister has been swarmed by a large crowd during a visit to the firebombed Melbourne synagogue. Anthony Albanese was taken inside the Ripponlea synagogue by Jewish leaders to inspect the damage before he was mobbed and heckled as they headed outside. While trying to calm the situation, the PM also committed to help rebuilding efforts.
This arson attack is an act of terrorism. It was fuelled by anti-Semitism. And it was stoked by hatred.
On behalf of the community and us Israel, we're very grateful the Prime Minister made the effort, the trip to come see us today.
Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke also visited the site yesterday afternoon. Billions of dollars in cost blowouts and years-long delays this morning plaguing one of Queensland's biggest infrastructure projects. Live to Today Queensland reporter Andrea Crothers in Brisbane. Andrea, when will the Cross River Rail actually open?
Good morning, Jane. Well, we're being told 2029. That is 3 years later than expected. And the price tag's pretty hefty too, 3 times more than the original figure of $5.4 billion. So the LNP state government now saying it will cost at least $17 billion. Where's the blowout coming from? Well, they've attributed about half of it to construction of the actual tunnel as well as its maintenance. The other half is being put down to the cost of running it. Things like the trains, replacement buses during construction, as well as connecting it to the rail network. So the state government has now accused their Labor predecessors of hiding those figures and the big blowouts, while Labor, who's now in state opposition, they have hit back, accusing the LNP of fudging the numbers. Jane.
Not good at all, thank you. An in-flight nightmare has unfolded on a Qantas plane bound for Adelaide. Passengers told to brace for a potential tyre explosion. The petrifying announcement caught on video.
Heads down! Stay down!
Upon landing, you may experience abrupt braking and also some loud banging as some of the tyres might explode.
The aircraft was forced to turn back to Brisbane, where it safely made an emergency landing. It won't fly again until engineers can figure out exactly what went wrong, so far describing the incident as a mechanical failure that may have been a faulty brake warning light. In their final interest rates decision for the year, the Reserve Bank has dashed hopes for a Christmas cut by keeping it on hold for the 9th time in a row. Explaining their decision to keep the rate at 4.35%, the central bank gave a glimmer of hope for next year.
We're not saying that we've won the battle against inflation yet, but we're saying we've got a little bit more confidence that things are evolving as we think in our forecasts. The truth is that some inflation pressures remain and cost of living pressures remain a burden on all Australians.
Economists now predict a possible cut won't be made until at least May. Families balancing the rising cost of childcare are being promised 3 days a week with a guaranteed subsidy if Labor wins the next election. Live to Today Federal Politics reporter Liz Daniels at Parliament House. Liz, this forms part of Labor's larger plan for early education.
It does, Jane. A major pre-Christmas, pre-election cost of living pitch to families. The Prime Minister to scrap the activity test, which requires parents to prove they're either employed, studying or training in order to get childcare fee help. It means every family earning under a combined $530,000 a year would be guaranteed 3 days of subsidised care, no matter how much they work. Those benefits decided on the current sliding scale depending on income. It is an overhaul that's broadly in line with recommendations by the Productivity Commission back in September, and it would cost the budget $427 million over the next 5 years. But Jane, as you said, it does lay the foundation for a long-held Anthony Albanese ambition to roll out universal childcare to all Australian families.
OK, Liz, thank you.